morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. We made it. What's happening, guys?
What up? At least we're having a better morning than Ryan Clark.
Yeah, it's funny because ESPN is going to be laying people off today, right?
Yeah.
But they couldn't wait to let him go. So he's in the middle of a shift. And, and they're like, yeah, you know what? It'd be super cool if you just kicked rocks, man. Like,
I mean, did they come? Like, was he on a radio show or like what was the story with?
He was on NFL Live.
Yeah,
and they said they gave him a note and said, "Hey, you're gone."
What I heard was, I guess he's the most popular person on the show outside of ESPN. So they thought that the news would get, like, somebody leaked it, and they thought it would get to him, so they told him in the middle of the show, and he just said, "All right, I'm out then." And literally, they come back from commercial, and he's gone.
Well, and I've read a lot of stuff on that since then. My morning has been nothing but ESPN and Fanatics today. I will tell you that I am going to keep my mouth shut right now about Fanatics. I'm not going to go into it the way that people may want me to at the moment. I'm gonna belay that. I may write an article, and I don't write very often. So it's like I want to make sure that what I say I mean, and that's going to take an article rather than words.
Right.
So I'm going to leave that be right now. Right. But ESPN and the way that they do things is very similar to like iHeartRadio and like these big media companies where it's like, hey, we can just do whatever we want to do, and we're going to play with these people's lives, and we're going to throw all this money around, and then we're going to decide that we've spent too much money and then cut people and stuff like that. I'm glad that he walked out the way he did. And I understand, like, they're saying, oh, well, this was the reason. And they're citing a reason back from last September. And I'm like,
oh, that they were
letting him go? The reason. Yeah, that's not the reason. That's not the reason why they're letting him go. They're letting him go because he's going to have a big contract, and they're going to spend a lot of money on Pat McAfee, and they're not going to spend a lot of money on this guy. And they had to pick and choose. And since they own the world right now in the NFL, that they can say, oh, well, you are not going to have a job. And the truth of the matter is that he'll go the Pat McAfee route and start doing his own show, and eventually they'll hire him back at 3 times the money.
Yeah, he already has
gone. Yeah. He'll just have more time and energy to put into it to make it bigger.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if he needs somebody to be outspoken and be his second, I'm available. You could steal me from this show. I am game. I know that I'm not getting paid enough here, and I am going to put in my word right now that if you want to steal me to your show, I'm game. I'm going.
Traitor. Yeah, no, it's so the one thing that's funny is you see these legacy media companies, they keep going through these, we'll say staff cuts, and ESPN did this last year also, and they got rid of a ton of writers. There's been other organizations that have also done that. And then you see teams like the Seahawks and the Mariners that are so legacy media driven when it comes to allowing people in the room that at some point they're going to have to entertain people in podcasts because it's all shifting this direction. And these big names are just dropping into podcasts and not even playing with legacy media. So Seahawks, if you're watching, I still want to be in the room. Ryan Clark is who got fired.
Yeah.
Well, and not for nothing. I mean, this is the reason why you see some of these channels. Like everybody everybody feels that they can own their own television channel.
Sure.
And I will be honest with you, I have thought about it myself. I mean, we have on this show alone, we were part of a Roku channel that has now gone defunct. You know what I mean? And it went defunct for numerous reasons, not any of which being the fact that, hey, there were some good content creators on there and good podcasters that it unfortunately, none of us were program directors of a television station. And that's what you need to have in the midst of this. But if you start to put these things together and you start to do these things in a way that makes sense, like you think about how Pat McAfee started this.
Yeah.
I've got lots of money. I'm going to build a garage that has all of this stuff in it. And then I'm going to start talking to a couple of people. And
I mean, he built a full-on TV studio.
Yeah.
Right. And realistically, I mean, it's like he went from, this is what it is. And I'm going to curse a few times. And I love being active still. And he took all of the good parts about the NFL. I mean, obviously, when you played the sport and you are part of that
fraternity,
like you can pull those players in. Like they know they feel more comfortable with you. We could try to reach out to all of the players we can, and maybe we'll get a couple of them because they've got nothing better to do that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are going to go to him because he was one of them.
Yeah, they have a relationship with him. Or, it's like Aaron Rodgers, where he pays him to be there.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you got the money to do it, I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm just saying I'm poor.
Hey, listen, if we could afford it, Bobby G, you would be Bobby Witt. You know what I mean? No offense, but we would absolutely have him, and you would be watching the show rather than being on the show.
Hey, none taken.
But we can't afford that.
Yeah.
we can't afford you, Bobby G.
I'm saying, hey, you see these logos piling up right here.
That's right. That's right. Over here doing
and
work.
Now it's my mission for the rest of the show to troll you into talking about Fanatics.
You can try all you want. I listened. Fanatics had Fanatics Fest this week. There has been a lot of content that has come out of it, and I will say that there was a good amount of friends that have gone up there. I will tell you that I have a different frustration with Fanatics that these people do not have, and there are other friends of mine. So I have factions of friends that are on either side of the Fanatics pool here. And I have a very definitive line where I actually have an actual gripe with them in comparison to it being hearsay and the way that they do business. So it's challenging because I have friends that are like, yeah, they went up to Fanatics Fest and had a great time and will have, and there were certain people that very conveniently were given high ticket items and high ticket spots to show how great of a company Fanatics is. And I look at that as if we were back in the Roman days where the king is going through the masses of people and they're throwing out loaves of bread to the people who are starving. And that's how I look at this a little bit. And it's like it says, I want to measure my words very carefully on how I write this article. Because I'm not a writer by any stretch, but I do have the ability to write. And this is one of these times where I want to make sure that my words are very calculated, because I want to do a couple of things. One, I want to post the blame to the right entity, not my friends, because my friends are doing what my friends are going to do. They are creators, they're content creators, and some of them are just getting into the game. They've been around it, but they just have started getting in. So they have like a couple thousand followers. And now you have an entity like Fanatics that is saying, hey, follow me, and we can get you a tremendous amount more. And it's like, I kind of liken it to Hawk Tuah girl. You know what I mean? It's like she has the one video that gets her 10 million followers because, listen, every guy would like to have gotten Hawk Tuah from her. You know what I mean? So it was but that was a real
radio show joining in.
But that was part of how her 15 minutes of fame started.
Yeah.
And I don't listen, I worked my ass off to get to where I am right now. And I hope that I have 12 minutes left of my 15 minutes of fame. I may only have 10 seconds, especially after that last comment. Yeah, so right. It's ESPN sending me my letter right now saying, hey, you're not going to make the end of the show. But it's a little on the tough side to kind of have the conversation I want to have, because you're right. I am spitting fire right now. And I have had a conversation even leading up. You guys may have even heard a little bit of it. I was talking to somebody who made a statement, and I kind of called him out a little bit harshly. And like he's got one side of the stage, and I got the other side of the stage. And he said something that I, took a little bit offense to, and came at him expressing that little bit of offense. And we don't have that type of relationship. I don't have that type of I don't have a disdain towards him at all. But it's frustrating because this is a polarizing issue. You know what I mean? That brands in general are a polarizing issue. That you look at the side of you, Bobby, and you see those names and things like that, and those are brands that are trying to take advantage of who you are as a person, a content creator, as somebody who's working.
I mean, to be fair, you're trying to take advantage of them too, because having those logos next to your name adds some credibility that you don't have otherwise.
Correct. But it also puts a little bit of money in your pocket. At least that's the goal.
Yeah, of course.
That this is all to put money in your pocket, because we look at this as a business.
Yeah.
And until those content creators, and I'm not calling anybody out because everybody's at different levels of this, understand what the business aspect of this is, and not the, hey, I happen to be at the right place at the right time, and I'm going to be given something that wasn't 100% earned, because somebody else.
To be fair, if Fanatics or ESPN wanted to pity give me 10,000 followers, I'd be like, okay.
If they wanted to pity give you 10,000 followers, I understand that. However, if they did that, and then there would be a financial windfall, albeit small, but there would be some financial windfall that would come from that. And that would be a compensation for whatever it is that you have done.
Well, there's nothing these companies do that's altruistic, right? Like everything they do is calculated and for their gain.
And that's exactly it. That's exactly my point.
If you can be wrapped into that, that's called smart branding.
Right. But if you find out that you are wrapped in and you are not giving them permission to do so, and the reason why that is occurring is because I don't have I am not Fanatics. I am not a $1 billion brand, and I do not have the means to be able to combat the fact that they are doing something illegal.
Yeah, if they're using your likeness, which is where I figure you're alluding to at this point, then yes, you have a very real gripe because you probably aren't getting compensated the way that you should for them using your name, likeness, whatever. And yeah, that becomes a very real issue.
Right. So, but that, like I said, to absolutely combat that in a meaningful way, you have to do it the right way, because I'm also, as I said, this is my livelihood. I'm not trying to piss off. And listen, Fanatics is Nike. Fanatics is Puma. Fanatics is one of those companies right now. Yeah. They're Coke, they're Pepsi. That's what I am trying to fight against. And it's not a fight because I don't have the disdain that I'm spitting right now. Like it's not a hatred to Fanatics. Right. This is a business, and I understand it as such.
Well, I mean, you're not saying I want to go to war with you because I don't like you. You're just saying compensate me for what I've created.
Exactly.
Correct.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're attacking it in a way of, I want us to work together. Just pay me for what I've got, as opposed to I'm trying to take you down, whatever. So, which is understandable, right? Like we all have the brands that we've created that have gotten us to where we are today. And if somebody starts to, kind of skirt some of that and take from you without giving you some of the due, right? I mean, this is a grind. For those of you that have not done what we are doing, this is so much more work than us just jumping in front of a camera, even though that's what everybody assumes you do, is you just do nothing all day and then jump in front of a camera and somehow know things. That's not how knowledge works, but
I mean, we're almost at our 600th episode here.
Yeah.
Just Monday. So that it's like, first off, there are only 225 days or 28 days of the year that we can do this.
Exactly.
So that means we've done this now for 3 years, just about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's been a fight to make sure that we can get to every one of these and to deal with some of the haters that have come on and to fight through some of the battles. And hey, like we've had numerous people that have circulated through this show. You know what I mean? That is
and like you said before, the Roku channel that started this show shuttering and then crumbling apart and disappearing. And I mean, this show has weathered so many things that those of you viewing probably didn't even know, especially ones that have come in towards the tail end of this, that if you're newer followers. I mean, this show has survived a lot of turmoil to get to, again, next Monday, number 600, which is a feat.
Right. And it's, and listen, I'm excited to, have been here for 600 episodes. I'm excited to do 600 more and wherever it goes, whether we are just talking to the same 8 people that I see in our comments most of the time, or if we are talking to thousands, that don't get the chance to comment or listen to us live. That's kind of part of the reason why I do this, is because I do it because I love doing it. I love talking to you guys, and I enjoy the ability to know sports, not just on a Philadelphia level, but on multi-levels, that I could be like, okay, I know what's happening in Arizona. I know what's happening in Vegas. I know what's happening in Seattle. So that when I see a random Seattle person in Philadelphia who happens to be going to Citizens Bank Park for a Phillies-Dodgers game, and he's wearing a Mariners jersey, that I could say, hey, listen, I happen to be on the radio in Seattle at 6 o'clock in the morning, and if you catch us at 7, you'll be hearing smooth jazz.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Smooth jazz. It's been a fun journey for sure. It's I don't know, but yes, I agree. I think hitting 1,000 would be a ridiculous feat.
Yes, because that shows a longevity that not many people actually go through. You know what I mean? It's like when people are talking to me and they ask me how long I've been doing this, and I say I'm going on 7, 8 years now. Like I'm on 8 years. I started this full time in 2019, and to think that that's 7 years ago, it's like wow, that's forever ago. But that was a blink of an eye. You know, it's literally it's what the difference a day makes. And you know, for all the people that tell me every day, please keep doing what you're doing. You are awesome. We love your content. We love all this stuff. I still have the people that say you suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And of course, you know, the ones that do watch the show and they're just they don't comment or anything, or lurking in the background. We see you too, so we appreciate you.
Actually, you guys, as funny as that sounds, you guys are more important than in some cases than the people that are actually commenting because you guys are religious. You guys do show back up every day, and that helps.
Our commenters do too. So
except for Joe. Joe's awesome. He's the best.
Yeah, well, yes, because
he's our international. He's our international.
It's
crowd.
Because he would rather have Bobby. He's like, you know, in fact, this Bo and Philly guy could like pound sand. Fair enough. Oh man.
But yeah, that's why this morning was I woke up this morning and it was you know, I chose violence.
You have to every once in a while. And it's like funny you should go in there because I enjoy the haters the most. And I'm telling you, like not the random guys in the content. Oh, you guys suck. You don't know what you're talking. Not those guys.
You can't
walk
around, Joe.
If you are a content creator, and you tell me I suck, boy, you better be on. You better be on your P's and Q because I am King Petty. You can go back a couple months ago. I have an entire episode dedicated to a dude who told me that. And oh my god, I did a segment on him, and
we had an entire show just called the Hater Show, and we aired it. We aired it on April Fool's Day because only the fools were jumping in. Now it's funny because I love your friends, family, loyal followers, right? They will watch whenever they can.
Right.
Haters will never miss a show. So they are the people that get you paid. And that, I mean, that's how you see guys like Skip, who built what he did. He did it by just making people mad.
Yeah.
Because he says ridiculous stuff, but it worked. Now I can't do that because I'd want to punch myself in the face, but
you know, there is a content creator in our area. And she is great at rage baiting.
Sure.
She is amazing at rage baiting. I don't understand how well she does it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me because all I feel like that she does a lot of the time, and I am minimizing it 100% what it is that she does. That like she's like, hey, if this team loses, if the Phillies lose today, I'll do whatever the first comment says. As she's doing the gritty, and she does the gritty in it seems like every single one of her videos.
Yeah.
And she gets tens of thousands of comments that just, hey, listen, if you know, so we want you to fly to Afghanistan and sleep with a homeless person, and like it's like they go ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And then everybody else votes for that one comment.
Right.
And you want to know what?
She never does pretty again.
She never does any of those comments, and she says the same thing the next game. And she's just amazing at getting people frustrated. And you know what? I love her to death. Her and I are friends, and we're content creators in Philadelphia, so it's we know each other well enough that we laugh at each other. And I try to get her to teach me how to do the gritty, which creates a whole different level of hate from people who say, "Listen, don't ever dance ever again." That's that's yeah. That's
I mean,
it's one of those
just
types of
being
things.
just being a woman in the sports realm, they get so many more haters than we do anyway. Just because they immediately get the contingent of you never played, so you don't know. And it's always from somebody that was a bench warmer in junior high, but technically we're on the team. It's like, calm down, man. You didn't play either. Like,
Hey, that's a great way to circle back because that's what it is alleged that was the reason why what's his face got canned from ESPN.
What?
That he said something to one of his co-hosts.
Oh, Ryan Clark.
oh,
That whole thing.
That's
yeah,
what,
that
that's
was
what they're
when they
claiming.
were with what's his name? That's not even on the show. The Bob Go. Who's it? Bob. Who used to be with Bob Golick? What's his name? He's got the show that comes on right before First Take. It's like right
I don't watch
there.
First Take, so I can't tell you about that either.
I don't know. I don't watch it.
Nah, but they had it was it Bob and Bob? Was it?
It was like Shetler or something like that. It was
Nah,
not Schefter.
not
I think, but
him.
it was-
Not him. Now I gotta find out. It was.
If anybody in the comments knows, drop that for us because our brain doesn't work because it's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, it's 6 a.m. here. It's 9 o'clock here. My brain still doesn't work.
Thank you for tuning in to CTE.
And if you want to bet whose brain works first, you could do that right here.
Bet the under. That's what I'm saying. Like up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. Use the QR code on the screen. Bet alongside us right here on Coast to Coast. And if you need help running more than just your mouth, you can join True Fusion Gym. Use the QR code on the screen. Free 5-day pass. Any of the 3 locations: Bellevue, Ballard, and University Village. Pilates boot camp, yoga bar, and more. Find your edge. True Fusion Gym.
Greenberg, Mike Greenberg.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a Mike and Mike show.
You
And-
want to talk
right.
about somebody who is like, I can't stand him even a slight bit. Yes. Yes. He's another one that is just a doofus.
Yeah, but he's on the ESPN slate. He's above Ryan.
Of course.
So
Because he's been there forever.
exactly.
And he's had a radio show forever.
Yeah.
And like he was the one, like, so I can't stand it because he was the one that actually had a vote for MVP, NBA MVP, and made his producer make the vote for him. And his producer decided to go and get, make a choice that was ridiculous and then announced it. So like take every vote away from you because you chose to be lazy at your job and made the producer make
Forget lazy is making a mockery of the process.
right.
I mean, especially because it's not that hard. I mean, why not just do the vote yourself? It's not like those are intense votes.
Anyways, that's beside the point. He's just another one of those guys that it's like, I mean, I guess he worked a tremendous amount to get to where he is.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I have to give a respect to that. However, I can't stand idiots.
Yeah.
I
Well,
cannot.
I mean,
I
that's
cannot.
That's the Mel Kiper thing. Like he's
I
never
can't
even
suffer
said-
fools. I can't suffer
Yeah.
fools. I have that problem.
No, that's the Mel Kiper thing, right? Like you have to respect the fact that he created a niche that he then filled and has made a 30-year career out of it. At the same time, he's never even kind of close, right? Like they highlight.
He's worse than a meteorologist.
Yeah, he's worse than this show when we do it. But at the same time, he created a niche that he then placed himself in. And so I respect that a ton because he gets to do it every year. He only has to work about 8 weeks a year, and then he gets to go do whatever he wants to do. Like, I mean, it's actually pretty impressive. At the same time, you're like, how do you keep coming back when all of your predictions are awful?
Well, the predictions are with the word. You got it, but he's usually spot on with like where people belong. I'm not saying spot wise, but I mean like round wise. Usually his round grades are usually spot on. The where they should go or who goes where, that that's it, because anything can happen. A team could need a quarterback and trade for a quarterback. Now this guy.
No offense. If your job is to look at the 1,000 people make decisions about the tens of thousands of athletes that are going to get chosen, when you see that and you see the same names over and over again in the same spots, you then say, okay, yeah, he's first round talent, because the averages allow you to say that. And that's what I will say, that, like, listen, it doesn't matter if I'm looking at 100 different people doing a mock draft, and out of those 100 people, 94 of them have somebody going in the top 5. I'm going to think that that person is going to go in the top 5.
The odds are high.
I mean, you're fair.
And Ed, this is our job, man.
I mean, like, which Deuce Nozzle are you talking about, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about me because he's on my page.
Yeah.
All right,
collectively,
and I got a job. Hey, listen, Ed, I'll tell you, I owned a chimney and masonry contracting company. I know what hard work is like. I have picked up rocks and put them down, and I have built some beautiful structures and have beautiful patios, walls, fountains, all that stuff. I do know what work is all about. I served my country, and when your resume is anywhere near mine, then you could tell me about getting a job. Until then, shut your pie hole.
I love that our smooth jazz station is going to be like, this is an interesting show today.
I apologize if I was not supposed to say
and I do
that
love
word
trolls
on the radio.
Yeah, right. No, I do love the trolls. Again, they help us get paid. So Ed, keep commenting, because the more you do, the better it is. So good. Speaking of saying stuff that you're not supposed to say, we did have the coach of the Tempo put out a phrase that was received much different than what she was talking about. And it's funny because it's a phrase that I've heard through sports a ton of times. So interesting that it got, well, it's a good indication of where we are as a society today. Is everything is offensive at this point. So this was Sandy.
Over.
So Angel misses a shot. She gets a rebound, buries her shoulder into a Tempo player, goes up, makes the shot. That was them crowding around the player, and that was the Tempo's head coach saying, "Hey, she gets a different whistle." That's what she's alluding to by saying she's a protected species. That is true for any of your stars that the league is trying to protect, right? That immediately got spun into a race issue, which is not the intent there, right? First off, it wasn't even in a press conference, right? This was a hot mic. She was talking to her team and the ref. So she's complaining about the refs giving preferential treatment for Angel Reese, right? So then she comes out, she apologizes. And so here's that.
It was an emotional statement, and it's in a statement that's it's very common in Australia, and it wasn't directed at Angel. I never do that to any kind of player. That's not kind of coach I am, or a player. back in my day, and it was just unfortunate.
Everyone, I'm sure everyone knows about the situation that happened last game, and I'm going to address this one time. First, I appreciate Sandy's apology, but I also appreciate the love and support that I have had for the last 48 hours. It has been very overwhelming with a lot of love and also other things, but I am grateful that the league did take action on what the situation had happened. There's no place for discrimination or hate in this league from anyone, from fans to coaches to players. And I'm just grateful that we are able to move on from the situation.
So there wasn't, obviously based on the context, it's not like it was deliberately trying to be offensive, right? She did get a game suspension for it though. So she is going to sit a game for that, for that comment. But I don't know. It just it's interesting because it's not a new phrase. It's one we've heard forever, and so it was interesting to see it immediately get twisted into the issue that it is now.
So I look at this as that the WNBA didn't have a choice. They had to do a 1-game suspension, I think, to just be able to prove the precedent. They're not trying to spark a race war.
No, exactly.
Point. Like
Exactly.
that they understood that this was not the way that it was supposed to be. And even listening to Angel there, that kudos to her a little bit to saying, listen, hey, listen, yeah, I appreciate the apology. There's none of this for none of this. Hey, listen, this was 2 years ago war. We're done with that war now. Let's move on and get beyond this. And I feel like that, that she was very sincere with how she's like, yeah, I'm going to come to this once. I don't want to talk about it again. Yeah. End of story. We're not going backwards. We're moving forwards. So I appreciate that. Even though, like I said, I feel like the league had to save some face by doing the 1-game suspension. That's kind of, in essence, it was just like, hey, yeah, it sucks. We understand, but we have to. There's no choice. And that's why we're only going to give you 1 game, and we're going to do this, and know that we're making sure that this doesn't get blown up out of proportion in any way, shape, or form.
Well, and you're also trying to get out in front of it so that you don't have just this spinning out of control on social media and things like Twitter and
Well, and that took Angel doing what she did.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, that is out of everything that I've seen with this, her statement held the most water. So you needed to be able, I think she did great there. Mm-hmm. And that you don't ever hear me talk about you saying Angel Reese doing something like that. Well, you know what I mean? So, whether she was coached, whether she did that out of her own heart, whatever happened, she did it right and correctly and resolved the issue.
But it does go to a little bit more of a sensitive issue,
for sure,
because and I'll say our, obviously, because I'm Black and Reese is Black, and what people are trying to turn it into. There has been a campaign over the last few years to protect Black women,
sure.
Athlete or not, and it's a legit thing, and it goes to social standing, right? Because on the social totem pole, usually women in general are at the bottom, and then of course Black women have been at the very bottom. So like it has been a real thing. I mean, I clearly don't feel the coach was reaching for that when she said that. I know exactly what she was speaking on, but just the phrasing, it's like you have to be alert of where you are, who you're speaking to, and who you're speaking about, no matter where you are. So to use that particular phrase like it has to come to something. Like I've been in situations where I was in the military, I was stationed in a different country, and it was our job to know. You have to know the complete story or complete background of it, but you have to be aware of, okay, you're going to Germany, certain jokes you may make at home aren't going to be okay. You're going to France, certain things, and behaviors aren't going to be okay. So like,
well, and of course, in this scenario, she thought she was talking to her team. There was a hot mic on her.
But even then,
which is a hot mic on everybody. And like I said, when we spoke about this off air yesterday, the first thing when you mentioned that to me, and I had no idea about this, I had not seen anything about this. The first person that came to my mind was Jimmy the Greek. I'm like, that was just the wrong thing to say. It was just the absolute wrong thing to say. It's just like, and I'm like, ooh, that's not a good one. And I know for all the reasons that it's not a good thing to say.
Right.
Even though I understand exactly what she was saying. Like it wasn't like like I said, I could just see how certain individuals could just take that at a face value and say that is done in with racial malintent,
right?
Especially people that don't actually watch. All they get is the soundbite, or all they see is the text. Like if you see it in just text and there's no tone, there's no context, whatever, then it absolutely sounds that way.
Right.
So I mean, that is one of those. You know exactly what she was saying, but you got to phrase it differently.
Yeah, you gotta, And I always use example of making an example of my wife. She hates it, but I find it hilarious.
Well, at least everyone will see it. So
I mean, my wife's Italian, right? And so when she was pregnant with our son, she, how women get together, almost, and they talk about the baby. And we're just out and about one day, and she said, "Oh, I can't wait till my little chunky monkey is born." And I'm like, okay, you can't say that. I'm like, dude, we're gonna get that out of your vocabulary right now, because you can't be somewhere when this kid is born who's obviously gonna have a darker skin complexion. You can't be in public without me and call this little kid a monkey. Like she's like she's not understanding why. And I explained it to her and all, but it's just one of the things. Again, not meaning anything by it. It's just her kid, but it's just Sweet Pea. You can't. No. You can't do that.
Yeah, even like I said, and it's one of those things where, like, even and I'm going to use it in this term, like a grandmother calling their grandchild, and both of which are starchly white, you know what I mean, and saying, "Hey, oh, my little monkey." It doesn't. You can't do that anymore because it's not. It's because anybody could hear that. And it's, although it's meant to be, he's running around, he's crazy, he's got too much energy.
Right.
That's my little pet nickname for him. It just doesn't fly anymore. You know what I mean?
No,
it's a shame because there's lots. You're right. There are a tremendous amount of those nicknames or fun things that have to be removed from our vocabulary in the senses that we are doing them because of the undertones that come with a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many of those that that aren't meant to be offensive that are now taken offensively, and so you have to retrain your mind, be like, okay, like this was fine for 30 years of my life, but now it's not okay anymore. And now some of those things were always bad. But things like that are, you're just like, I mean, come on. You know what she was saying, or like, calling your kid that's rambunctious, climbing on everything, a monkey, like it shouldn't be offensive, but it has become offensive. And so, that is that spatial awareness, right? Like you got to know where you are, who you're talking to, and not even just who you're talking to, but who on the peripheral is going to hear it, because those are the ones that are going to come in and talk.
And what it's actually alluding to is the mental, that this is still embedded into our brains. Like
Yeah.
that's like
Sure.
when you go as far back as Jimmy the Greek, what he said was not with any racial malintent. He was actually speaking like, hey, listen, that right now that if you live in this community, eh, that's a at that time that was a way out, and that you were training yourselves to be able to try to get into professional sports to be able to do that. That's what he meant by the statement. He came out and said that that they were being bred that way, and that's what made it seem like I said, it was embedded. It's embedded into our being, and that's
Yeah.
what we are trying to reverse.
Yeah.
That this is not part of us anymore.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
and some of it is being on the public stage. You have to know that a phrase can end everything you've been working for.
Exactly. And it's like to me, but the thing I'd like to see more of today is they're quick to show the reaction or the punishment. They're quick to be, we nipped this in the bud. This is how we handle it.
Yeah.
Show the education. Like, let's not just punish. Let's educate. Okay, you did this and this punishment. This is why you shouldn't do it. Let's show the educate. Like, school me. This is an opportunity for you to educate people.
Yeah.
Let's put some focus on that as well.
Well, and that is one thing that was great about Sandy's comment there. Like, obviously, that was a much longer segment that I just grabbed a clip that kind of wrapped what she was talking about up. But I mean, she even said, hey, I need to be more aware of where I am, right? Like, it's something that we say in Australia all the time. But, she acknowledged that race is a much bigger issue in the US than it is in Australia. And so she acknowledged the, spatial awareness that she need to be more cognizant of moving forward. And so, I mean, in that scenario, she got it right away. Right. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, some of it should be like, this is why it's not okay. I mean, you shouldn't need that, but here we are talking about it. So,
well, no, because he's doing exactly what we're talking about, what he was talking about, that we are giving the education behind the statement, like how the statement has come to be looked at in the way that it's being looked at, and how we resolve it moving forward. That's what I feel like is the most important part of that. We only get to show the statement, and then the quickest reaction portion of that, where it's the three of us here are expressing the education portion of this.
Yeah.
That this is, we understand why it's wrong. We understand all these different things, but not everybody might.
No, for sure.
That's because it's not us that we're trying to convince. It's if we can reach one person.
It's everybody out there.
It's reaching one person. It's not, you can't reach the masses because the masses aren't meant to understand. It's one person at a time.
Some people are just, they want to be mad. So even if they understand why it happened, they're like, no, I don't care. I'm going to be mad about this. And you're like, okay, well, there's nothing we can do for that. But, and it's not like, again, it was just a phrasing issue, because Becky Hammon 2 weeks ago was complaining about, I forget who they were playing. But
they got smacked up by the fever.
Yeah. In fact, I think that's what it was. And, they got like half as many foul shots. And she's just like, yeah, they get a different whistle. Right. And of course, you're saying the exact same thing, but the phrasing was different. So now, did she get a fine from the league for going after the refs? 100%. But, but she was saying essentially the same thing, is Caitlin Clark was not getting the same whistle that everybody else gets. And so, that's all she was talking about.
And no offense to that, but I watched that play over and over again. I paid attention to that play, and I watched it develop, and I watched Caitlin Clark run directly into that girl.
Yeah.
And that girl didn't move, and Caitlin Clark bounced and fell on the ground. That there was no call to be made there. the ref got that call right. Like it was all Caitlin Clark, and listen, all 125 pounds of her bounced off of that girl. Literally, she ran dead into her and then fell backwards 3 steps, and there was no call because that girl was just planted there and was like, "Hey, I'm here. I'd allowed to be here," and there should have been no call. So the ref actually got that call right.
Well, that's a rarity around the W, but
but no, because I tried to find like that there was a call to be made there. Like it was, I'm like, did she check her or anything? No, Caitlin Clark just bounced.
It was the lack of calls that like Asia was getting. That was the biggest thing. Her gripe wasn't the calls that they were getting on the other end. She's like, yeah, we fouled. They absolutely should have got there as like 20 something times. But what her comment was like, you can't tell me that we have Asia crashing to the basket and she didn't get any fouls. Right? Because I think she had either no foul shots in that game or like 2 or something, like something ridiculous for your multi-time league MVP to have not gotten any. Like, there's no way you're going to the hoop and you just miraculously didn't get fouled.
She was getting the Allen Iverson treatment.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's in essence. Yeah. That's what she was getting. She was getting the Allen Iverson treatment. That if you're going to go to the basket, that there is going to be. That's why he had to wear the sleeves so that he didn't get scratched anymore. It was just like, for whatever reason, ball players want to have longer fingernails, and he was getting like scarred from scratches on his arms and stuff like that. And that's kind of the same situation that she's running into a little bit. I think that comes with greatness.
Yeah.
Well, when you are great like that, there starts to become a level of, we have to level out the playing field for everybody else. And certain referees will take that stance a little bit, which is what happened with Allen Iverson. Like, he was like, hey, you're going to be a 6 foot tall guy who wants to go run in between a whole bunch of 7-footers and think that you're going to make it through unscathed. Well, guess what? That's your own fault. You're choosing to go in that war zone. Well, guess what? Sometimes you get hit with bombs.
I mean, you're not wrong. But yeah, so I mean, that was just the phrasing difference to say exactly the same thing.
Right.
So yeah, hopefully this is behind everybody at this point. But I imagine this will linger on for a little while until whatever next story. Although there probably will be the next story later today, as ESPN is supposed to let everybody go. So, so it should shift relatively quick. And look at us getting through the show and nobody got fired. How about that? Although we tried.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What's that?
Oh,
right.
Prodigy is out.
Sorry, fellas.
Fired. Yeah, exactly. See, that's where you launch them. You're like, ooh. And
shows are fun.
And you're right. He's the talking horse. But you showed the head, and I don't think that's where he's talking from. Man, good stuff. So, talking about the WNBA for a second, I was at the Storm game yesterday, and we had the league leading Lynx in town, and it ended up coming down to the final possession, 105-102. Flage, actually a great designed play, and she'd been knocking them down all night. It just rims off, and they lose another close one right at the end. They are 0-10 in games decided by less than 5 points. Wow. That is that's rough. It also lets you know that they're playing with a lot of teams, right? So their record isn't necessarily indicative of what they can do. They've routinely had a quarter where they kind of fall apart. They foul a lot of turnovers, whatever. This particular game, they actually had a good game all the way through. They just played the best team in the league. So weirdly, the W has done a lot of back-to-back games with the same team. I'm sure this is logistic type stuff, limit travel, all of that. But at the same time, that means they have the best team again on Wednesday. So, and then they have another back-to-back that comes up here in, I think just after the All-Star break, where they play the Liberty back-to-back in New York. So kind of some rough back-to-backs to have to get signed up for. But I asked, Coach Raman last night if she likes these back-to-backs or, any strategic advantage or disadvantage that you see from this. And she said that she liked them, that it gives her that playoff feel where you are playing a team and then 2 days later, you're right back at it with them. Now obviously the Storm are not going to the playoffs this year unless they happen to win out after the All-Star break. But it's a good mentality to have, right? You have a very young team, and to get that kind of experience without actually being in that situation, is invaluable, really. So,
yeah.
So anyway, but unfortunately that had them drop to 6-22, I think. So kind of a rough season, but but here we are. Your Aces are doing just fine though.
yeah, we're they're just about to hit their stride. I mean, this season's a lot better than the first half of last season. First half last season was terrible. They were 500 and then just took off on this epic run. They're just feeling a little bit more confident about the team this season. Just wish the whole Kennedy Carter thing would have worked out, but it is what it is.
That was weird because her numbers look good, so it lets you know that there's something else going on, right?
Yeah, she just can't shut up.
Yeah,
that's what's going on. She shut up.
See, I wasn't going to word it that way, but
I will. Shut up, play ball. Just shut up and play ball. Just off the bench, she's almost having 20 points a game.
Exactly.
Just shut up and hoop. That's all you had. Sailing to a ring, but you just can't get out of your own way.
That's right. Stay tuned as we bring the temperature down for some smooth jazz. That being said, we really do got to get out of here. If you've been watching on YouTube and every other platform, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. And of course, if you are listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, we do have that smooth jazz coming up next, in case this was a little more volatile than you were expecting at 6 a.m. Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.